Hello, this is Miss Harris here to talk to you on regrouping to subtract fractions using strategy 2. Strategy 2 has to do with making improper fractions in order to subtract. So, your first step, you're going to change your mixed numbers to improper fractions. Do that by putting plus at the top, times at the bottom. And there is a video specifically for practicing that skill, making improper fractions. So if you need to, after you watch this video, go find making improper fractions and practice just that one step. Step 2, you're going to subtract the two fractions that you created. Step 3, change the improper fraction back to a mixed number by dividing. There also is a video for changing improper fractions. If you get stuck on that step, it's a video just for that skill that you can practice on that. And then your last and final step, take your answer that you got after you change it back to a mixed number and make sure that you simplify, and that is your final answer. So let's take a look. First question, have 4 and 2 6 minus 1 and 5 6. So whenever I'm trying to subtract fractions, I first look and see where my fractions are. If my big number is not first, then I need to regroup. Just like when you're subtracting whole numbers and you check to make sure your big number is on top, I would need to regroup in order to take 9 away from that 4. So the same thing applies when we're dealing with fractions. So this strategy, step 1, you're going to make improper fractions. So plus at the top, times at the bottom. Order of operations say that you multiply numbers before you add them. So 4 times 6 goes first, and that's 24, plus the 2 gives me 26. Your bottom number stays the same, so your new fraction is 26 over 6. Now I need to change the other mixed number, plus at the top, times at the bottom. Multiply first. 1 times 6 is 6, then plus 5 gives you 11. Bottom number stays the same. So the new problem that I'm trying to work out is 26 over 6 minus 11 over 6. We did this because 2 is not big enough to take 5 away. So we make improper fractions, and now I have a bigger number in order to take something away. All right. My bottom numbers are the same, so I can go ahead and subtract. Bottom number stays the same. And 26 minus 11 gives you 15. Now, step 3 says change back to a mixed number. This is because fractions, when you're dealing with fractions, remember your top number should never be bigger than the bottom. So this is an improper fraction, and I need to change it back so that we have a correct fraction. Do that by dividing. Write what you say. 15 over 6. Okay, so I'm asking myself, what can I multiply 6 by to get close to 15 without going over? If you need to, make your list so that you can see your multiplication facts. And I have 6, 12, 18, 24. I'm looking for 16. I don't have 16. So what's the closest I get is 6 times 2 equals 12. Okay. Whatever I'm multiplying with goes outside of the house. So 6 is already there, and I put 2 on top of the house. And now I use the 12. It goes at the bottom. We subtract the numbers inside. 15 minus 2 gives me 3. Now, everything that's outside is what I'm going to use to put my answer back together to make a mixed number. So the first thing that's important to know, or easy to know, is your bottom number always stays the same. So my denominator is 6. Cross that out because I used one of the numbers already. Only thing left for me to use to create my answer is a 2 and a 3. Anything on top of the house is always a whole number. Whole numbers do what? Stand alone. And the only thing that's left is my remainder, and it goes on top. So I have 2 and 3 6. Last step says simplify. So I write out my multiplication facts for each number. 1 times 3, nothing else for 3. Then I have 1 times 6, 2 times 3. Circle what's the same. Pick your biggest number that you circled, which is 3, and use it to divide. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now put my parts back together for my final answer. My whole number was 2. My new simplified fraction is 1/2. So 2 and 1/2 is my complete answer. If you struggle with simplifying, there is also a video on simplifying fractions that you can practice on just that step. Let's try another example. I check to make sure my big fraction is first. It is not. I have a 3 and I'm trying to take away 8. That is not possible. So I need to regroup. Screens. Okay. And we are regrouping by creating improper fractions. I have 7 and 3/12 and 2 and 8/12. So I'm making improper fractions, plus at the top, times at the bottom. Order of operations say I need to multiply before I add. So 12 times 7. Even though sometimes you come out with using big numbers, just go to the side and work it out. 4, carry the 1, 8d4. I'm done with the multiplying. Now I need to add 3. 7 and 8. So I have 87. My bottom number stays the same. I had a 12, so it goes back. Minus, now I change the next mixed number. Plus at the top, times at the bottom. I multiply first. 12 times 2 is 24. And now I add 8. Gives me 32. And I keep the same bottom number. Now my new problem that I'm working out is 82 over 12 minus 32 over 12. Now I have a big enough number that I can take away from. So 87 minus 32. Go over here on your scratch paper. All right, so gives me 55 over 12. I cannot say that this is my final answer because fractions, the top should not be bigger than the bottom. So I need to divide to fix it. Write what you say. 55 divided by 12. So I'm looking to multiply 12 by something that gets me close to 55. Let's try one more just in case. So yes, I'm going to use 12 times 4. Whatever I'm multiplying with goes outside the house. So 4 is on top. My product goes inside so I can subtract. I regroup because I cannot take 8 from 5. Make that 15. Gives me 7. Okay, and I circle my 3 parts. Everything that's outside of the lines are going to be used to create my answer. So my bottom number stays the same. Whatever's on top of the house is my whole number. It stands alone, and 7 goes on top. Can I simplify? My factors for 7 are 1 times 7. Then I have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Only thing I can circle is 1. So 1 is the only thing you can circle. It's already simplified. So my complete final answer is 4 and 7/12. Try another one. Remember to press pause and try to work it yourself, and then press play to check your work. So I check to see if my big fraction is first. I have 1 and I'm trying to take away 4. That would be incorrect. So I need to create improper fractions so that my first fraction can be bigger or big enough to take away. So plus at the top times at the bottom. 10 times 4 is 40, plus 1 more gives me 41. Keep the same bottom number. Change to the next mixed number. Plus at the top times at the bottom. 3 times 10 is 30, plus 4 gives me 34, and I keep the same bottom number that I had. Okay, so my new problem that I'm trying to work out is 41 over 10 minus 3 over 4. And please do understand that these improper fractions are also equivalent to what we already had, meaning they have the same amount or same size, but just using different numbers. So when I subtract, remember your bottom number stays the same. And I go over 41 minus 34. Cannot take 4 from 1, so I regroup. Now I have 11 minus 4 gives me 7. And 3 minus 3 is 0. So I have 7 over 10. Now I can say that I can leave 7 over 10 because my top is not bigger than the bottom, so I'm okay. Now I just need to simplify my multiplication facts. 1 times 7, then I have 1 times 10 and 2 times 5, and the only thing I can circle is 1 and 1. If the only thing you can circle is the number 1, your fraction is already simplified, and that means 7 over 10 is my answer. I hope this video was helpful. Any step that you have problems on, go find the video that's called that has the title of that step that you're struggling with. Simplifying, go find simplifying fractions. If you are trying to make mixed numbers, go find changing improper fractions to mixed numbers. And if you need help with making improper fractions, go find the video that says making improper fractions. Thanks for watching.